Week, we're talking Pearl Morissette, natural wine, the Pan Canadian Wine Masterclass, and much more.
We can probably just get started because my computer's frozen.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, there you go. Let's start. Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club members, welcome. This is Wednesday Wine at the Hour here with Carl's Wine Club. We are live from Summerland, BC, and we're going to talk Canadian wines all evening. So I hope that everyone is as pumped as we are because it's National Cabernet Sauvignon Day. It's Cab Sauv Day. It's Big Wine Day. It's Big Boys Day. So I know that my wife, my business partner, aka Mira, right across here, is really excited because she loves her big and bold wine. So on that, happy Cab Sauv Day, Canadian wine lovers, to all of you across the country. I hope that you're enjoying it as much as we do. I would like to know from where you're tuning in, what is in your glass? And if you are celebrating Cab Sauv Day, what's in your glass? Do you have a California Cab? Do you have a Bordeaux? Do you have a Super Tuscan? Do you have, from where? Or are you like us? Do you have a Canadian Cabernet in your glass? If so, I want to know what it is. And if not, it's not a big deal. I want to know what is your favorite Cabernet Sauvignon from Canada that you have. So please let us know. Yeah. So while Mira is working here, Mira, you let me know when you're ready to chat, ready to go. I will let you do your stuff. Okay, don't worry about me. I'm just going to chit chat with all of our members across the country because we have a bunch of people tuning in here. So let me know. Flag me when you're ready. Mira has a lineup of 6 wines in front of her, and we're gonna test Mira a little bit here. What's in her glass and all of that. But I have a bunch of natural wine behind me, so it's going to be interesting to talk about because natural wine, it's not always for everybody. We have a group of people who are really like all about Canadian, all about natural wine. This is one of the greatest things. And some of the people are, this is not for me. Too weird, too funky, not so much, too inconsistent. And there's many. So there's 2 sides of the medal. We're going to talk about it today because next week we are featuring one of the club's favorite. For the 3rd time, or maybe the 4th time in 3 years, we are featuring Pearl Morissette next week. And after our visit in Niagara, after a tasting at Pearl Morissette, we're good to go. But what I have behind me, most of these wines were not tasted a couple of weeks ago. Most of these wines are not available anywhere. Really exclusive selection. So we're very, very excited. Leslie Harbinson from Calgary. Good evening, Leslie. 6 o'clock your time, 5 o'clock our time. No wine for you tonight. That's fine. We have enough here in front of us to compensate for what you don't have. But it's Cabernet Sauvignon Day, so hopefully you'll have a chance to crack a good bottle of Cab Sauv at some point this week. And when you do, you take a picture and you put it on the VIP, so we know. What are you cracking to celebrate Cab Sauv Day? So, bonjour en français à tout le monde qui nous écoute partout à travers le pays, tous nos amateurs de vin francophones de toutes les régions francophones du Canada, que ce soit le Québec, que ce soit le nord de l'Ontario, que ce soit le Manitoba, le Nouveau-Brunswick, les provinces de l'Atlantique. Un beau bonjour en français. Nos amateurs de vin francophones. Aujourd'hui, on parle de vin qui est propriété d'un francophone, d'un Québécois de source, François Morissette, qui a travaillé pour longtemps, qui a fait du vin pendant longtemps en Bourgogne, qui est revenu à ses sources natales au Canada et ouvert qui est maintenant un des vignobles les plus au pays. Pearl Morissette, qui sont spécialisés en vin naturel. Puis, on va parler de Pearl. J'ai 6 bouteilles d'ouvertes de Pearl Morissette en arrière de moi. Donc, on va parler de Cabernet Franc, on va parler de Riesling. Mais aussi, aujourd'hui, c'est la Journée nationale du Cabernet Sauvignon. Donc, pour célébrer la Journée nationale du Cabernet Sauvignon, on a ouvert une bouteille de Cabernet de la Colombie-Britannique, de la vallée de l'Okanagan, petit vignoble, micro. Ils produisent le Cabernet Réserve 2020. Je pense qu'il y avait 75 caisses de fait. Donc, on parle de très, très, très petites cuvées. Ce vin-là est excellent. J'ai pris une gorgée, j'ai goûté tantôt. Absolument excellent. Donc, une belle sélection de vins. J'ai Mira de l'autre côté qui est en train de régler les problèmes techniques, mais pendant ce temps-là, on goûte du vin et on parle de vin. OK! Ça, that was my introduction in French. Un beau bonjour. Et puis, so for everyone else, Daryl, welcome. Good evening. It's cold in Ontario, so it's whiskey in his glass. Enjoy your whiskey, Daryl. Six wine glasses here. So we have some Pearl. You were with us at Pearl Morissette a couple weeks ago, a tasting where people loved, people didn't like as much. There was the group were really split. The wine that I have here are completely different than what we had when we were there. So what's in our glass, I had the pre-tasting last night, and I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited to share what's in my glass because this is absolutely thrilling. Okay, so two full-on 100% Cab Franc and one blend. Also, I have Riesling in the other glasses here. So, Mira, welcome back. How are you doing?
Great. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to taste these wines. Like Daryl says, it got cold fast. Like summer just kind of went like summer this year was like summer, some bumps, and then it's done.
Yeah, I know. I know. Pretty crazy.
We literally turned the heat on this morning in our house.
We sure did. Yeah. We sure did.
So it's time for some red wines to get like cozy, you know? I'm just super excited.
Well, I have some whites as well, but I think for you to start, if you turn around, you have one. Like, let's do a cheers for National Cabernet Sauvignon Day. Okay?
Oh yeah. Okay.
So the big glass, it's your Cab Sauv. So cheers to that, Mira. Okay. I know that's your jam. You love big boys. You like big wine, big and juicy. So here's what I opened tonight, Mira. My crew producer from Oliver, BC, 75 cases produced of that. 75, not 750, not 500, 75. I don't know if you do the math, 75, it's less than 1,000 bottles, okay, from the 2020 vintage. Wow. I just had a sip of that. What do you think? Jeez.
It's a beauty.
Isn't it juicy?
So, I'm excited because we've heard a lot about this Red Horses Winery, a tiny micro producer out of BC. South, right? Like what, near Oliver or Soyuz?
Oliver, and that's funny because they're in the residential area. Like it's not like if they're on the Black Sage Bench or on the Golden Mile or no, they're in a residential area. It's just the funniest thing.
Yeah. So were you there? Did you go there in person?
Yeah, twice. I've been there. You remember when I used to have the doctor here in Kelowna? We used to live in Calgary. So I came here at the very, very, very beginning. Very beginning. The club was not born yet, and I went there. Yeah. So anyway, so really funny story. It's the husband, the wife, the son is the winemaker, and they take care of, like, they have a vineyard in the middle of a residential area. Like, it's the funniest thing ever. But their rosé was we heard from Rob, right? Rob Amersley, our friend at Black Market, and Karen, and our wine friends, right? They've been there a couple of times this week, and they've been saying, like, oh my God, their wines are so great.
Yeah.
So that's what we have here.
That's awesome. I'm so excited. You know what? I remember their rosé. It has there's this string of similarity between the two, and it's something to do with this kind of like creaminess on the mid palate to me.
To me, it's juicy.
Oh, it's a beauty.
And see, it's easy drinking. There's a tannin. There's rich cocoa in the mid palate.
That's a really nice
Lots of
one.
black cherry, dark fruit, but it's an absolute beauty. So
So, Diane, this is the Cabernet Sauvignon from Red Horse's Vineyard, which is this tiny, tiny, tiny producer in the South Okanagan. 75 cases of this wine made. So we were just talking about some people go there and I see them posting and they're like, we weren't sure we were in the right place because we pulled up to somebody's house surrounded by like other houses.
yeah, the vineyard is on Zinfandel Avenue. Like you go to Merlot Avenue, Zinfandel, like you're literally on the residential area, but at the complete end of the residential area, and there's the vineyard in the middle of the courtyard. Like it's super cool.
That's
Really cool. So yeah, so 100% Cab Sauv. I definitely, I haven't read the text sheet, but there's definitely some oak in there. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of American oak. There's that vanilla, but you know what? It's not out of place. It's not something that you like. It's cream. No, it's just juicy, easy drinking, well made. This wine, I'll give it another 3-4 years. But yeah, if Mira, if you come across the pricing, 2020 vintage, if you can tell me how much, I would say if it's under $40, I will be all over that.
So I was just gonna say, like, yeah, do you know the price? You know what? It's 45.
Okay. So
Let me
yeah,
just
75 cases.
No. Okay, so they have two. Am I a legal drinkable age? I almost said no. Oops. Okay. So 23 months.
Hey, sweetheart. Listen, I don't want to disappoint you. I don't want to offend you. I don't want to come across the wrong way. But you are. You are. You are.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, 100% new French oak for 23 months. And it is 45. What I'm going to find out now, because in BC you never know, if it's 45 plus tax or 45 tax in, because there's a big difference in BC.
Oh. Aye.
And some people do and some people don't. Anyway, I'll find that out.
My eye.
Did you really?
Yeah. Jeez.
Right.
Okay. Blooper reel. Ooh. I should have a. No, that's okay. Okay.
So that's plus tax. So
yeah, but we're talking about first and foremost is Cab Sauv. Okay.
Yeah.
It's Cabernet Sauvignon. So it's the most expensive grape to grow. It's not necessarily to grow, but to produce. That it's 100% new French, and there's only 75 cases made. I mean, if you do the freaking math, like do the economic of this wine. I mean, there's no logic economic of this wine in the sense that 75 cases produced. I mean, like this anyway. But really good, really good. I am, you know what? I'm not offended with that $45. I'm not.
Well, if you look at all the other big, bold Cab Sauvs in BC, there's very few under 50.
Oh yeah, exactly. So listen, let's compare, okay? Let's be real here. Let's compare. This is my gold standard in term of Cab Sauv. 93 to 95 points last year, top 4 on my top 10 wine, number 4 on my top 10 wine of the top 10 wine
of the year.
Top 10 wine list, top 10 anyway.
Mount Boucherie.
Okay, that's the original vine Mount Boucherie. This is $49.95 or $49.99 or $50. Okay, this is the gold standard though. Made by a producer who they probably produced, I don't know, probably 500 cases. So now we're talking about a 75 cases production from a very small, tiny producer. So I love that. Is there a lot of lots of tannins? It's not something grippy or rips your face off. Despite the fact that there's 100% new French oak in there, no, it's soft. It's soft. It's juicy. To me, it's fruity. It's not too fruity though. It's not like fruity candy. It's cab. It's cab easy drinking, but with a nice weight. That where there's no doubt that it's a Cab Sauv, but super juicy. Nice spice. Slight grip at the end to remind you at the very end that, yeah, you know what? That's a Cab Sauv. Oh, okay, there's got the torque.
So right now, are you talking about Ma Boucherie or Red Horses?
No, Red Horses. I'm just answering. Diane.
So you're talking about Red Horses?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. Because talking about Mont Boucherie, I was just comparing the pricing. I just grabbed the bottle to show, okay, this is the gold standard, to my opinion. So if Mont Boucherie is my gold standard, when I tasted it upon release, I was between 93 and 95 because there was so much more to come. And I settled for 94 plus when we retasted it a couple of weeks ago at the master class. So what I want to say here is if Mont Boucherie is at 94 plus, this is easily 90 plus, maybe 91 points. It's good. It doesn't have the length, it doesn't have the complexity, the depth in it, but we're talking about something different. The brand new little producer, not a very established, like but this is good. This is a 90 plus, 91 points. What do you think?
It's really good.
Yeah, it's easy, right?
Absolutely. I just love this wine.
Yeah, okay on the nose, but not over. So yeah, anyway, a happy Cab Sauv day. That was the whole purpose why I opened that bottle. And we're going to do tasting notes on that. We're going to publish that in the next couple of days. But to me, at least 90 plus, at least minimum. Do you agree with that?
We'll see. I totally agree. And we'll see. I mean, we just opened it. We'll see how it develops over
I opened it and I Enovino it, right? So I use that little tool here that people don't. That's my Enovino. This decant your wine one glass at a time. So here you go. So I have a few other Cab Sauv here behind me just to celebrate. We have the Bella Terra Cab Sauv. We have another gold standard, and if not the gold standard in the country, it's Ice Cellar. Yeah. Isn't it?
Oh yeah.
There's if you ask me who is the single best single varietal Cab Sauv in the country, I might say Ice Cellar.
And we know that because before we ever even featured Ice Cellars, we did a Cabernet Sauvignon tasting marathon live with you guys here. And we did this, the first one was 2021, this day, 2 years ago. And I think that's when we discovered Ice Cellars because they had sent in a Cab Sauv for us to taste during the live marathon. And we were like, wow. Remember that?
Right. I think you're right.
What'd you give that Cab Sauv? 95, I think, right?
Yeah, it was my number 2 wine of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It was a stunner. It was a stunning wine, that Cab Sauv.
Yeah, back then was the 2017, I believe.
From Ice Cellars.
Yeah.
So
anyway, so that's for Cab Sauv. Yeah, that's for Niagara. So here you go. So here's for Cab Sauv. So let's get to what's in front of us, because
So what are you gonna do here? Are you gonna play with me a little bit, or because there's like 6 wines behind me? So what's that all about?
Okay, first and foremost, how about you have a sip of wine just to start? There's one there's one
Cab Sauv.
Yeah, why not? Why not, right? Hey, we never do things like everyone else here, okay?
No.
So, and why should we? Why should we?
Why?
Does that mean
Exactly.
if you just had a sip of Cab Sauv that you should not have anything else for the rest of the day? Only Cab Sauv for the rest of the day?
There's no shoulds. There's just what you want to do, isn't there?
There you go.
It's wine after all. It's meant to be for your enjoyment.
That's it, right?
So
And
the first white here.
yeah, there's two. There's two.
That's got a nice nose. I'm going to guess Riesling.
Yeah, but there's two, right? If you grab your other glass and you smell both side by side, get both.
Oh, is this this is grassy.
This is grassy. Okay. Oh, I like that. It is grassy. It's really taking a turn right now. Like yeah.
This is like that the first one is very almost floral. There's almost like a poached honeyed pear or something like that. And if I had to guess, I would say it's a Riesling. And the next one is so grassy that I would say there's some kind of like Sauvignon Blanc in there or something.
Okay. Well, you know what? You deserve a big trophy because you got 2 out of 2.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Riesling and Sauvignon Blanc.
You got it. You got it.
So
absolutely.
You know what's crazy? 3 years ago today, in 2020, I would have not even like known. Like, there's no way I would have told you those two varietals. I would have had zero clue.
So you know what?
That's what tasting 3,000 wines together has done, Carl.
3 years? Yeah, 3 years ago, you confused Cab Sauv and Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah, I would mix them up. And I knew it was, but just like in talking, I'd mix them up. Yeah.
Okay, so I have the new 2021, I believe. Wait a minute. Don't mix it up, Carl. Oops. Oh, right here. Yeah, no, 2020 Fumé Blanc from Bellaterra.
Oh, really?
Okay.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and the other one is the White Ball by Pearl Morissette. Why did I put the Bellaterra there? There's absolutely no fucking reason. None. It's completely random. Why? I had a bottle that I tasted yesterday to finish the tasting note, and I thought it was really good. I gave it a 91 points, and I said, you know what? We're going to taste it live. Today, I'm pouring the whole Pearl Morissette lineup, and I said, you know what? No, I'm pouring a glass of Sauvignon Blanc, of Fumé Blanc. So, yes. What is... Yeah, why it's open today? I don't have a clue why it's in your glass, but I just feel like it. So great.
Well, because you know that Sauvignon Blanc is one of my favorites, and Fumé Blanc, especially from Bellaterra in Niagara, holy cow.
Holy cow. Holy cow.
And this is the new one. I haven't had this one yet. So
you know what? No. I believe that it's not only you. I believe that there's no one else who had it. This wine is not released. This wine has just been shipped around here to say, Carl, can you please let us know what you think? So here is what I think. Marcel Morgenstern. Oh, by the way, we're friend of Bellaterra, right? Good friend. We love what they do. We know their staff quite well because we've been working with them doing events and all that. So Juan, who's the sommelier at Bellaterra, just got his diploma today. So he got his sommelier diploma today. So it's exactly. So congrats to Juan. He's a great dude. I freaking love that guy. So yeah. So Juan, congratulations. Juan at Bellaterra, the Somm at the tasting room, just got his Court of Sommelier of America diploma. So well done. Nice. By the way, 91 point. Maybe I think I give it a 91 plus. If I'm not
mistaken. What I love about this Sauvignon Blanc from Bellaterra is the chalkiness on the finish, which we were talking about chalkiness a little while ago. There's not that many Canadian wines that have chalkiness on the finish. You see it a lot in certain parts of France. I don't know if it has to do with like gravel in the vineyard or some kind of type of soil or what, but
Depends. Sometimes chalk, sometimes clay, sometimes more limestone.
Yeah, but I love it. Like, it's so unique. Yeah. It's so nice.
So yeah, so this is their Fumé Blanc. So there's a hint. There's a generous amount of oak in there, but it's very well integrated. So I really like. Now it's been open for a day and a half. I like that spark of butterscotch, of vanilla coming at the very end, like to soften up. But on the front, it's grassy. Like, you got it. You absolutely nailed it.
All right, so that was the Bella Terra Sauvignon Blanc. Yeah. Now, if we go to my other glass, which I correctly guessed as Riesling, I get more of that, like, I said it's poached pear. I don't know. What do you get on the nose?
Oh, yeah. I think it's really poached. Like, okay. So now we're getting into the world of natural wine. Okay. Now we're going to switch our gear completely to Pearl Morissette. Okay. Let's make a full move into that world where it's, okay. So here, this is the white ball. And you know what I'm realizing more and more when it's time for natural wine? I think the environment that you are in when you taste the wines, when you enjoy the wines, are very important. I think that you need to be in a space where you're happy, much more than any other style of wine. I don't know if I make sense.
I know what you mean, and
I don't know if I make sense. Okay, go ahead.
Because sometimes when you go to wineries, and some of you members who were with us at the tours might know what I'm talking about, you get to taste wine in the barrel room or a production facility, which is awesome. But if it's the middle of summer and it's 28 degrees outside and you go in your nice summer clothes into the barrel room where it's 14 degrees and you're freaking cold. You're cold, and even though you brought your sweater, you're still freaking cold because you weren't expecting to be cold. Your wines are cold. You're cold. Anyway.
Yeah, and when you had a really long night the night before, a very long day the day before, and where you're not necessarily in a space where you're comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. And you taste some weird wine that very morning that doesn't fucking sit with you. You're like, what is happening here? Right? You get grouchy, you start complaining, you just want to get the heck out of there. And like, there's a whole world of negativities coming, like going around. That's how I felt a couple of weeks ago.
And it wasn't just like, we went to 4 or 5 wineries, and I think they were trying to spare us from the warmth outside, and they didn't want their wines to get warm if we tried them outside. Olivier is on from
Olivier,
Quebec.
mon chum, bonne soirée, j'espère que ça va bien. La pizzeria va bien, puis toute la patente. Écoute, on est presque le mois de septembre. Le retour à l'école, puis tout. Un beau bonjour. Nous autres, on revient de Niagara. On est en train de faire une petite démonstration, une petite présentation ici sur les vins naturels de Pearl Morissette. Des vins qui sont disponibles au Québec. J'ai une belle sélection ici de 6 vins de Pearl, de Niagara, des Riesling, des Cabernet Franc, des vins absolument fantastiques ici. Okay, sorry.
So no, it's all good. All I was going to say is, pro tip, if you're wine touring in the summer, find out where you're going to be tasting. If it's going to be in a production facility or a wine cellar, you might want to bring like your big wool sweater and closed-toed shoes and pants. That's all I'm saying.
It's a great point. I got me really grouchy and on a bad mood.
And so yes, it's true. There is a lot of romance around wine. You can't just like this is why normally when you go to a winery, you taste all their wines and you think, "Oh my God, they're all phenomenal," because you're in the vineyard and it's so peaceful and it's so beautiful and it's warm and you just love it. And there's like people bringing you wine all the time and it's just like this. And then you buy all the wines at the winery. You get home and you taste them a year later and you're like, well, this one is really good, but this one, I don't know what I was thinking, you know? And it's because different contexts, also wine changes all the time. True.
Mira, Mira, I like on the scale that you explained the thing, okay? I did that, the same thing, but not by the bottle. We did it by the container, okay? Okay.
So you were like, I'll take 5,000 cases of this
Okay,
one.
listen, it's worth it. We're in Italy. We're in the vineyard in the Veneto, like I think it's in Vendo Biandini, and we're tasting some prosecco with the grandpa, with the grandpa, the dad, and the grandson, the dog running around, the blanket, the cheese, the charcuterie, right in the middle of the vines, with the families running around. And we're taking these bubblies, and I'm with David Walker, and okay, and we're tasting, and like everything is just so freaking perfect, so freaking fantastic, so beautiful. The wine tastes amazing. David said, "Okay, perfect. I'm bringing that wine to Canada. We'll take 2 containers." Okay. The old man is like, "What? We just make his year." Like he's over the moon. Like it's incredible. So we get back to Canada, we get the sample, we start tasting the thing, and it's like, oh, what the fuck is that? Well, I mean, this bottle is wrong. Trying another bottle, like same thing, and we're just like shaking our hand, like, what did we do? Oh yeah, the romance of the moment. Sometimes you need to wait before putting an order until you taste the wine in a different state of mind. That's the same thing to go grocery shopping when you're starving, right?
Similar, yeah. Oh, this is a really good point. This is a very good point because this is why side-by-side tastings, especially of different producers, are so key if you're trying to get to know Canadian wine and wine in general, probably. But the masterclass, I mean, that's why it was so special. We tasted wine from 11 different producers from Vancouver Island across to every wine region to Nova Scotia.
Keep going for a second. I need to go empty my spit bucket.
Ah, no worries.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Your spit mug.
Yeah,
so I mean, like, it's really where you learn a lot. I mean, this is why after 3 years of tasting, because literally before the pandemic started, I barely knew what Carl does for a living for the last 30 years. Sorry. Sometimes you live in the same house as someone and you just don't really know what they're up to. But with the pandemic, we started tasting wines, and that's how I can tell the difference now between this Riesling and this Sauvignon Blanc, because I tasted them side by side so many times that you start to get to know the differences.
You know what? Now I can take a week of vacation. I can go away for a week of vacation, and you can take over.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You just proved it to the thousands of people who are listening to us coast to coast around the world, because we're live around the world right now. You just prove it to everybody.
So like that time you went to Bali and Singapore for a month and I had to go live by myself. No. It's better when you're here, Carl. I'm telling you. It's way more fun when you're here.
Because I still can't, even if I can't fix the website. Okay? But you can now taste Sauvignon Blanc and Riesling side by side and make the freaking difference. So that's pretty cool. Okay. So, yeah, Daryl, you're right, but still, I believe that anyway, what we tasted that morning, Daryl, was not up to par. What's in my glass is pretty freaking good right now. I'll tell you one thing. Okay, so let's talk about the white ball. I don't have the tasting note, the tech sheet, or anything, so I have no clue. But one thing that I know, that they ferment their Riesling bone dry. And this is not as dry as what we've tasted at the winery a couple of weeks ago. But there's a really very classic Riesling. There's a 20-mile bench terroir on that wine as well. There's a little bit of butterscotch at the end. There's a citrus peel, a really zingy green apple. And the little bit of a reductive note that I don't mind at all. So there's but not too much austerity in that wine. Okay.
So there were 2 Rieslings we tasted from Pearl.
Yes.
The other day.
Yes, you don't have the other one. I saved the other one for an experiment.
Really?
Yes, I want to see all along because the other one is freaking good.
I was gonna say there was one that I liked more than the other, and I feel like this one's good, but I like the other one.
Yeah, more. The other one, the Va-et-Vient Riesling. Yes. The Va-et-Vient, I suspect that there's a blend in there. I feel like it's Riesling Chardonnay or something. But anyway, that Va-et-Vient has a roundness. It's round, it's creamy. It's completely different of that style because we will have next week 2 Rieslings, completely different style. The Va-et-Vient is 2018 vintage. That I would say it's peaking right now, exceptionally. And the Va-et-Vient in my book, I give it a 92 points. I absolutely love that wine. And it's kind of a contrast after what we experienced a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, I know, and I don't want like Daryl and Danny and Rich, like people were with us say, what the heck is he talking about? It's just the wines are completely different. What we are tasting this week, it's a world of difference of what we've tasted a couple of weeks ago.
And I think what is important and interesting about this is that when we first featured Pearl Morissette, right, we didn't even know their natural wines. When you rated that Chardonnay 96 points, and then you said, the heck with it, it's 98 points.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know it was natural wine. We didn't know it was, we didn't really know much about Pearl Morissette. We were just looking at the wine. And I think what's interesting with natural wine is you get a lot more variation, right? If you're the kind of person that likes a really consistent kind of level and standard and style, then natural wines are probably not ideal for you. You might find 1 or 2 you like from a very specific vintage, and then you might find the next vintage is so totally different that you're like, what happened, right?
Yeah.
I mean, most wineries, they do try to not make them drastically different, right? So
but they don't try to make them drastically different. They just follow what Mother Nature gives you. They just follows exactly.
Certain, when you do more regular winemaking than like this super ultra natural winemaking, there is a certain thing. Like you say, okay, well, it's our Chardonnay. We still keep it in oak for 12 months, and we still do this and this and this and this with the yeast, with this, with that, right? So you do end up having like this kind of continuity between the vintages. Like
there's standard and protocol. I mean, you have your book of procedure, and it's called the house style. And you see that a lot, like when you talk with Richard De Silva. Like if you look Pearl Morissette versus De Silva Vineyard, these are the 2 antipode of the spectrum. Richard goes by the book. What he makes his wine all of the same way. I mean, he got the same barrel treatment. He does the same fermentation with 1 yeast. I mean, he does it consistently. Every year, his wines are the same. What Richard do, he lets the vineyard speak, but he does all of his wines differently. The same way. The
same kind of every year, and then the variation is very specifically because of
the single vineyard from where the grapes are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the opposite, There's no yeast, there's no time limit, there's no atmospheric pattern, there's no nothing. It is what it is. We get the grapes and we let Mother Nature does the whole rest. So there's so many different things comes into the equation that from almost from a bottle to another, at least from tank to tank, from vessel to vessel, there's variation. So yeah, so it's a very, very interesting way.
There's what we call a big risk. And when we were at the winery, Svetlana, who is the managing partner there, she said, you don't sleep a lot when you have a winery that's based on the kind of natural wine philosophy that they have, because there's so many things that can go wrong and you're constantly worrying about what this and that. I mean, it's hard enough being a farmer to begin with at the whims of the weather. And then on top of that, you're worried about, well, the wine's not fermenting. Is it going to ferment next month or is it going to ferment in 6 months? That's a huge difference when you're, planning on bottling and what you're going to sell.
When the vintage a year before the following vintage ferment before the older one ferment before the younger one ferment before the older one, it must be nerve-wracking. It must be like, what the heck is going on, right? But anyway, so that's the beauty of what they do. That's the beauty.
All that to say, though, is there's the huge risk, okay, which I respect them for. There's also the huge reward. And I think that part is the part that's really interesting, because we have not yet tasted a wine that was at the level of the Pearl Morissette 2017 Cuvée du Deuxième. When it was at its peak. We tasted it recently. It is down peak now.
It's down peak, but I would like to give you another example about Pearl Cuvée 19e, but 2018 vintage. 2018 vintage, when we tasted it before release, it was so close and so tight that it was not enjoyable at all. I blind taste a month ago at the Chardonnay Marathon that we've done. All of the other taster on the other side ranked and rated the Pearl Morissette 2018 vintage on their top 3. All of the other guys on the other side of the camera. Jan, Rob, Karen, Michelle, Mira. And I was the only one with the bottle in front of me, in front of the camera, that I gave 93 plus or 94 points. On my top 5, all of the other people behind the camera didn't know what they had in their glass, and they all rated that wine in their top 3 out of 67 Chardonnays. So the first time we tasted 2018 a year and a half ago, there's nothing coming out of that bottle. So it's interesting. And now guess what? It's back in the lineup. We have it available next week. So yeah, incredible bottle of wine. So now,
is that one not open yet? It's not open yet.
No, it's not open yet.
Yeah, what happened there?
We tasted it a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So now what you have in front of you, Mira, the 3 reds, okay? They're all Cab Franc. One of them, the one in the middle, is a Cab Franc blend. So give it a try. There's 2 that I really, really, really like. No, there's one that is a freaking amazing. One that I really, really like, and one that I'm not too crazy about. Okay, there's 3. So on the first one, it's Les Racines du Ciel. Les Racines du Ciel 2021. Okay? That's okay wine. I would say it's 89 points in my book. Very, very new, though. Very, very new. This is a 2021 vintage. I don't know how's this wine, and I'm not going to pretend that I expect this wine to get better. I don't know shit, okay? Especially when it's time for natural wine. I'm not dipping my toes into that water, okay? So the middle one, and this is the point of what happened in Niagara versus what happened here. That's the only one that we've tasted at both places. And this wine, served warmer and served in the comfort of my house, tastes 100 times better than it tasted in the freaking cold cellar out there. I can tell you just that. So the middle glass. And what's in your glass here? What I want you to pay attention to, it's the finish. The finish of that wine is crazy. The length of that finish, it goes on and on and on and on forever. It's crazy.
And it has this kind of like velvetyness.
So this is Fury. Okay?
That's Fury. Okay.
That's Fury. This from the Lincoln Lake shore. That's the appellation, very close to Ontario Lake, in between the lake and the escarpment. Okay? There's a very special terroir in there. And I would say, I'm not sure, I think it's Merlot Cab Franc. I'm not 100% sure what's blended with that. But the finish of that wine, fucking insane. I did not get that when the wine was much colder in the cellar or anything like that. Is it just me who's out for lunch?
I guess we'll have to find out. I don't think so, based on what I'm tasting. So,
yeah, okay. The first one, Racine du Ciel, I enjoyed that wine. The middle one, Fury, I love that wine.
Okay, so you have the 2020 Fury? Yeah? Well, it's very fitting because today is Cab Sauv day, and it's 70% Cab Sauv, 19% Merlot, and 11% Cab Franc.
And it's 2020 vintage. See, that makes sense. Darn it that the finish of that wine absolutely hang there. And now I am so convinced that the service temperature was completely wrong where we were. And this wine did not do justice to the wine. Completely interfere with the experience of the wine. Okay.
So Diane's asking if we can get this wine in BC liquor stores and what's the name. So I'll type it out, Diane. It's Pearl Morissette. I don't think you're going to get it at a BC liquor store, but we
can get it next week though.
In the club. It's the 2020 Fury, right?
2020 Fury.
Pearl Morissette Fury from Niagara. We'll feature it next week. And generally, if you're able to order 6 bottles, the shipping is pretty reasonable. If it's less than 6, then you have to kind of pay for the shipping, which is sometimes, depending on how many bottles, somewhere between $20 to $40. But
you won't get $20 shipping for less than 6 bottles.
Well, no, if it's less than 6, you can get
ain't gonna happen.
2 bottles sent out. But anyways, yeah. But if you were willing to take the bet and order 6, what do you know yet what the shipping rates are going to be like next week? No, we're just confirming that. We always have the VIP plus and unlimited options for members. So if you join for a year at those levels, you get the free shipping as well. So that's pretty awesome.
And the third wine is.
And the which wine?
The third one.
So this one. Oh, we're way back here.
Yeah. Wow. This wine.
So This
Go ahead.
is Carl. Carl, I have rarely seen Carl get as giddy as he does about wine. Um, Outside some of these wines that we've tasted from Pearl Morissette.
This, it's not Cuvée 19e 17 level, but it is really freaking sensational. This is, so for Chardonnay, Pearl Morissette, their top tier, their top cuvée, it's Cuvée 19e. For their Cabernet Franc, their top cuvée, it's called Cuvée Madeleine. So this is Cuvée Madeleine 2000 and which one is Madeleine? 2018 Madeleine. My favorite Cab Franc outside of the Colleen, who's Cab Franc Appassimento last year from Rennie. One of my gold standard Cab Franc are from obviously the Cab Franc Master from Brian Schmid as at a affordable level, but also Bellaterra. The 2020 Cab Franc from Bellaterra is one of the gold standard. This, it's at that same level. No doubt about that. Wow. This is potpourri. This is red pepper jelly. It's Black Forest cake. It's whipped cream vanilla. There's butterscotch. There's violet. And there's a soft, creamy finish. There's so much going on. It is so much fun to taste. And there's that wild ferment that stays there, and just like from opening to close, that wild ferment, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, these are
What do
pretty
you think?
special wines. Okay, so tell us the names of these two at the end here, the ones that are our favorites.
Fury. So Fury is the middle one.
that's
Fury is the Cab Sauv Cab Franc.
Mhm.
Cab Sauv Merlot Cab Franc. That's the middle one. Really enjoy it. I'm not sure about the price. What does the price say on your side?
I'll tell you. 2020 Fury. 50 including tax.
Okay, so that's the Bordeaux blend. So yeah, the 2020 vintage. Go around in Niagara, big players. I mean big player. I mean like in the serious, big in the serious bold varietals from the 2020 vintage. $50. It's pretty much the average you would find. So this is not I'm pleased with that price. I was thinking more. Cuvée Madeleine, this is their top wine. So we're talking probably around $70, if I'm not mistaken. This wine will be more expensive.
Okay, so tell me the name of it again.
Cuvée Madeleine.
Yeah, that's the one that you gave 95, 96 points to, right?
No, did I?
In the past, like past vintages of Cuvée Madeleine.
I did not win all the way up to 95, 96. I don't think so.
Okay.
This one is getting a 94. This one is getting a 94 for sure. Sure.
Yeah, I don't see the price because it's not available anywhere.
No, it's not. It's not released yet.
Oh, okay.
It's not released yet.
How many of these wines that we're featuring next week are not released?
5 out of 6.
Wow.
There's only one wine available. So the 18 Va-et-Vient White is a sold out wine. It's they just saved I think it's 15 cases for the library. So we're going in that. Yeah. The other wines are not available anywhere else.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. Leslie's just saying the 18. I'm not sure which one she was referring to. The Pearl Morissette, maybe? I don't know.
If she's referring to the 18 Pearl Morissette, she's probably thinking Cuvée 19e, not Cuvée Madeleine.
Yeah, because
she probably has some 18 because she probably had the vertical pack when we did the 16, 17, and 18. And yeah, so there's something like that with Leslie. It's probably Cuvée 19e, not Madeleine.
Okay.
So that's what I'm suggesting here.
Yeah, I mean, Leslie, tell us if you're doing if you have the 2018 Chardonnay or the 2018 red.
Cab Sauv.
Because
that's so funny. Yeah. And I mentioned that to you last night, and I just got the same aura, the same vision, the same thing who came to my brain through my nose. When I smelled that wine, I smelled the Chardonnay. There's some place aromas who comes out of this wine that triggers something in my brain that I remember from the Chardonnay. That's the power of the brain. And
it's the power of probably like a similar yeast, because if it's all natural.
But it's not, and it's also, this is from the exact same terroir of the 20 Mile Bench. The wines are coming from a block side by side.
Really?
So, but yeah, I can truly smell some similar aromas.
So cool. So cool.
And this wine is freaking fantastic. Absolutely outstanding. A little rugged finish too. that dark plum skin at the very end, but that mix of potpourri and black forest cake mixed with dark fruit. Oh, geez, that's good. Love it, love it, love it. So this is for our 6 bottles of Pearl Morissette coming next week. Wines are not cheap, but it's an experience. It's truly, truly an experience.
That's awesome. So Diane and Mario went to Portugal earlier this year. Mario just got back a couple days ago, and he says he told so many people about Canadian wines, they probably think I'm crazy. Yes.
Hey, welcome to my world. Welcome to my world.
That's great.
There's one thing that I would like to talk about, Mira, before we go. It's the lineup of wine that we had at the Pan Canadian Masterclass. So, for people who don't know, if you lived in a rock in the last month, we, as Mira and I, and 2 other winemakers from BC, Rob Amersley from Black Market, Richard De Silva from De Silva Vineyard, we went to Niagara. We organized the first ever Pan Canadian Masterclass. We had 60 people at De La Terra Winery in Niagara on the Lake, and we tasted 12 wines from coast to coast, and we had our winemaker panels. There was 6 winemakers from all over the country, and so we had an incredible selection of wine, showcasing the diversity of the Canadian terroir, but also showcasing some very specific grape varietals, some very specific terroirs. So this experience turned out that we put lots of time and effort to put that together, and it rewarded us with such an amazing night. I mean, the night that we had at Bella Terra was absolutely magic. And one of the reasons for was these six guys on the these guys on the poster right there were generous of their time, generous of their emotion and their knowledge, and the synergy, the symbiosis between all of them was so incredible that it made that room light up. But there's also another reason. It's because the wines, the juice in the glasses in front of everyone was absolutely incredible. And after talking to all of these wineries involved, all of these, well, we have 10 available. So wineries made these wines available. Some of them are available, like there's only 12 bottles available, like very, very small quantity. So if anyone would like to have a taste of what we serve, what we featured at the Pan Canadian in Niagara-on-the-Lake a couple weeks ago, we have these wines available for purchase in 6 bottles per wineries. So we have here available the Tidal Bay from Nova Scotia. So Domaine de Campré, Tidal Bay, 90 plus points at $22. This is available. We have, so from Nova Scotia to Vancouver Island on Cowichan,
like a cow.
I know every time. I mean, we need to make a blooper reel with that also. I can't pronounce that darn stupid word. Anyway, Cowichan Valley, the elderly Ramato style Pinot Gris available per 6-pack, around $25 a bottle. This is a 91 points, fantastic, rugged, bold rosé with so much flavors. After that, we have 3 whites, 2 other whites. We have a Chardonnay from Prince Edward County, so Clausen Chase, 94 points. Carl's Wine Club, or 95 points wine line. The Churchside Chardonnay from Prince Edward County is available at $52 a bottle. Incredible chard, absolutely pure and crisp and precise. Also, there is the Chenin Blanc from the Naramata Bench here in BC, from those I said early in the summer, that was my wine of the summer, a 93 point single vineyard Chenin Blanc from Richard Da Silva at something like 40 something a bottle. After that, we have the Elevation Riesling, not released. No, it's not going to be released until late in the fall, but the Riesling from Vineland Estate, 2022 vintage, 92 points, Carl's Wine Club, $23 a bottle for this Elevation Riesling. Available only for Carl's Wine Club people. You won't find that wine anywhere else. Yes, this one, Mira. So this is for the white lineup. On the red, we have the Senchuk Vineyard from Leading Post. Incredible finesse in that Pinot Noir. Not cheap, but $70 a bottle. But this wine, the potential wine of the year right there, okay? 94 points, Carl's Wine Club. We have my number 5 wine of the year on my top 10 list last year, the Bellaterra Cabernet Franc 2020 vintage, available $44.95 a bottle.
Including tax.
Including tax. Also, Black Market Wine Company, only 6 bottles left. Okay? The unsanctioned Merlot 2019. There was like less than 100 cases made of that. Really very rare. Very, very, very special wine. Just around the $50 mark. And there's also the Mount Boucherie, my number 4 wine of the year last year. Mount Boucherie Original Vines Cabernet Sauvignon with fruits from the Similkameen Valley, 2019 vintage. This wine is not available. It's sold out, but we have a small quantity. So this is available. And the cream of the crop, the Red Icon from Patent Rock, 2019 Red Icon. There's only 6 bottles left. There you go. So that's the lineup from from the Pan Canadian Masterclass. These wines are available for the rest of the week. And yeah, everyone got the link. So if you're thinking of ordering, maybe you should hit click because there's not going to be a lot left in before the end of the week.
Yeah. And tell me, Carl. So Leslie just sent me the picture of the 2018 Cuvée Madeleine that she has in her cellar. What vintage do we have there? Is it the 2018 as well?
18, yeah.
18. Okay, so that is one we featured in the past, Leslie. That's why you have it. So
and
Carl,
the other one should be because we had two vintages before. So we probably had 17 and 18.
17 and 18. Let's see. No, so we have an 18 that we featured in 2021.
Okay.
Okay, and you give it 93 points at the time.
Okay.
But you did not give tasting notes at the time.
See?
So this was early in the club days where you weren't always doing the tasting notes for the wines. And so, yeah, I just have your score here, 93 points.
See, I'm just pretty consistent because this one has just got better. So yes, the score goes up for sure.
I was going to say, based on your closer to 94 point assessment, it sounds like it's gotten better with time, which is really important.
Absolutely. No doubt about that. No doubt about that.
So Leslie, you're sitting on some gold there. I think it's a good one. And if you're looking for a wine to crack in the next year or two that's special, that's probably one of them. Awesome.
It's cool to taste Furry side by side. Furry, it's much more grippy. Furry, it's much bigger and bolder than the Cuvée Madeleine. Yeah, both fantastic wine. So I'm excited. Next week's going to be a fun week. I'm really, really excited. And hey, we need to tell everyone that on September 16, we're taking a group. We're taking Carl's Wine Club members, all of our fanatics in BC to the BC Winery of the Year. We're going to be at the Silva Vineyards and Winery for a vineyard experience. That should be something pretty darn cool. What if you walk the vineyard with the vigneron, with the guy who grows the grape, the guy who harvests the grape, the guy who crushes the grapes and makes the wines, okay? You walk the vineyard, you taste the grapes in the vines and taste the wine, the juice from the previous year.
It's an extremely rare opportunity to do that. Like I have not yet done, well, maybe once I tasted when we harvested Pinot Blanc and helped Black Market harvest their Pinot Blanc.
Yeah.
We tasted it in the vines, in the vineyard as we were harvesting it, the grape. And then we went and had lunch and tasted the previous vintage wine. That's pretty
true.
Cool.
That's true.
That's the closest I've been to. You had an experience like that last harvest in Niagara.
We were with Graham Rennie. Rennie and I, with a small group of Carl's Wine Club members at the Aaron Pond Vineyard, Benchland Vineyard in Niagara on the escarpment. So we did that with the Chardonnay. We had a glass of Christine Chardonnay, walking the vines with like the grapes were like maybe 2 or 3 days before harvest. They were plump, they were juicy, they were ready to go, they were so good. And that's so cool to taste the flavors of the grape, and you can definitely like relate what's in the glass. It's really, really cool. So we're gonna do that this time, but not with one wine. That's the cool thing. with 4 wines because the what's the name of the vineyard? The Hidden Hollow Vineyard on the
Yes.
Naramata Bench. It's the vineyard behind the De Silva Winery. It's called the Hidden Hollow Vineyard. Richard grows 4 grape varietals there. 4: Pinot Noir, Riesling, Pinot Noir, Chenin Blanc, Riesling, and what is the other one? I cannot 100% recall. But anyway, these 4 grapes varietals, we're going to taste the wine from that grape varietal. So we're going to taste the 2022 Chenin Blanc with the grape of Chenin Blanc in the vines. If we're lucky, if weather permit, I don't want to promise anything, but if it's ready to go, you might end up with clippers in your hand. You might end up with the bucket in your hand and say, hey, can you, we might harvest a few rows. Maybe. Not the Pinot, but maybe one of the whites. So we'll see. It's the Vineyard Experience, Carl's Wine Club style.
Which means, like, we got to start defining Carl's Wine Club style, because people who know. But if you haven't been to one of our events yet, what it means is behind the scenes, super authentic, the kind of stuff that when we go into a winery, we just wish we could be filming every second of it, because it's so fascinating. The interaction you have and connection you have with the winemaker, with the land, with the vines, with the grapes. It's wine on a whole nother level. So much fun. Hey, I have a question for you, Carl Boucher. Can you flash us? Do you have the Madeleine? Do you have the Madeleine bottle there behind you? Flash it up on the screen, because Leslie's just trying to see if it's the same one that's in her cellar. And yes, Leslie, it is the same one. Wow, that's awesome. So yeah, that's the one we featured in 2021. It's back and it's even better. So it's kind of exciting to see how it's changed and progressed over the last 2 years.
Oh my God, it is so good. It is so darn good. Yeah. When we talk about the wine who just had a beautiful progression, that's what it is. It's like my wife in the last 3 years, just like absolutely beautifully progressed.
It's like your what?
My wife.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. So sweet. All right. Well, what else is coming up? I'm going to get you the dates in one quick second, because we do have 3 more BC events. So if you are a local, if you are coming into the Okanagan this fall, touch base with us, because we can do a complimentary chat with you and help you plan your trip. We've got all the best insider knowledge on where to go, what to see, and we're happy to share that with you at any time. Also, we do offer our own tours, Carl's Wine Club style, behind the scenes, super personalized to your wine tastes. And we've got these 4 events now this fall. September 16th at De Silva at the Vineyard Experience, but we also have the Pinot Noir Marathon, which will be live here, free, online with you guys. We'll taste a ton of Pinot Noir live, like for hours, Canadian Pinot Noir. We've got the Cab Franc Marathon coming up in
and this was chosen by Carl's Wine Club members
as our next marathon.
Yeah, because we put a poll in on our VIP page, and the clear winner was the Cab Franc. So
yeah, everyone said let's taste Cab Franc after Pinot Noir, so that's what we're doing. We're going to get like 20, 30, maybe more bottles.
Hopefully 30, 35. Yeah.
Your mouth can only take so many of those in one sitting. But yeah, maybe 30, 35 Cab Francs open. We're going to have winemakers stop by and talk about Cab Franc and explore this varietal for Canada. And then we have another exciting thing coming up in the Okanagan.
And what's funny Mira, what's funny with Cab Franc is it feels right now that both major wine regions are fighting about saying, oh, it's our
Signature grape.
Or signature grapes, like as we hear that from Ontario for a while now. Oh, it's Cab Franc is the Ontario Niagara signature grape varietals, but more and more we hear that from BC as well. I heard that like a couple times in the last couple months. So it's great to see that there's some diehard passion for the grape on both sides of the country. So it's going to be great to taste that side by side and all around the country.
Absolutely. And now that we're on the topic of those two varietal marathons, the Pinot Noir and the Cab Franc coming up this fall, if you're in the Okanagan, around the time that we do those, the following day, we have an open house where you can come and taste all 20, 30, 40 that we've got open and chat with Carl, find out, be the first to taste his top 5 in the country and things like that. So you can get tickets for that on our website right now. And you can get tickets for this, which is the first of its kind. And it is a Chardonnay Masterclass, Canadian Chardonnay Masterclass. Now, this is very exciting.
That I'm really excited.
How many Chardonnays did we taste during our live marathon just last month?
67.
67, right? 67 Chardonnays. There's more than that we've tasted this year. And so what
we're probably at around 100 this year.
We'll see very soon once that archive is launched, I guess. And so this is your favorite varietal too, hey, Carl?
No, yeah, by far, it's that's totally like the central of my interest into like everything's surrounded by my passion for Chardonnay.
And the most versatile grape varietal.
Absolutely. And to me, it's this signature, the Canadian signature grape. Absolutely no doubt about that. And I truly believe that we are one of the best Chardonnay producer in the world. Yep. Like quote me, I don't care. We are one of the best Chardonnay producer in the country. I am not shy about that. I believe into that. And
you mean one of the best Chardonnay producers in the world?
In the world. I mean, sorry. Yeah. No,
I don't know. So this is why I'm looking for the this masterclass. I'm really looking forward to it because personally, I haven't tasted thousands and thousands and thousands of international wines like Carl has in the first almost 30 years of his international wine career. And so I'm excited. Like at the masterclass, we're going to do some blind tasting, Canada versus the world. We're going to look at different styles of Chardonnay in Canada, different regions, different price points, right? And we're going to do that blind first.
Yep.
With everybody in the room. And then everyone will have a chance to talk about it, and everyone will have a chance to find out what each wine actually is and learn about it from you. So it's very exciting.
That would be cool. I can't wait. So 10 people. So it's a very small group of people, but with 10 people, we're going to go around the world and we're going to dig deep into the Chardonnay world. So we're very excited. And what's the date again, Mira?
Okay. So for the Chardonnay, October 21st for Chardonnay.
October 21st. There you go.
For the Chardonnay Masterclass. Yeah, so some fun stuff to look forward to online here when we're going live for Pinot Noir, for Cab Franc, and then more if you can be here in person. So if you're planning a trip, see if you can plan around those dates. And if you're local, well, there's no excuse. Be here, be square. You're going to love it. So we'll see you guys real soon, and hope you had a fabulous Cab Sauv day, had a fabulous Wine Wednesday. We'll see you guys soon.
Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club members, we'll see you next week. Next time.
Thanks, guys.